in commitment debt and extremely stressed. It seems everything is important and I can't get rid of anything in my life. Do I really need to get rid of projects, and how do I decide which ones to keep and which ones to put aside?
I am so glad that she said this term commitment debt. Let me define what commitment debt is. It's very much like monetary debt or financial debt. When you get in financial debt, you can get into this downward spiral where it is nearly impossible to see the light. You almost have to declare bankruptcy. So what is financial debt? I took out a little bit of debt here, and maybe I'm living a little bit beyond my means, but I've got the belief that I could, work a little bit harder or save up a little bit more and I can cover it. But then maybe I'm not paying attention and I start taking more and more and more, or maybe I rob Peter to pay Paul, so now I'm borrowing over here to pay this debt, and now my life becomes a Ponzi scheme where I'm really just constantly robbing Peter to save Paul, and at some point the Ponzi scheme collapses and the feds run in and say, you are way beyond your means right now, we need to shut you down. That's financial debt. Commitment debt is very similar, where, your eyes are bigger than your stomach, you want to live a big life, so you maybe overcommit a little bit here, and so you're running a business here, and then you volunteer for your church over there, and then you volunteer for something for the PTA over here, and you're just thinking, okay, well then you're robbing a little time here to pay over there, and now you start getting more and more behind, and then you can get into this commitment bankruptcy scenario. Just like bankruptcy, there's different types. There's one bankruptcy where you just restructure your debt, renegotiate your debt, and you ultimately do try to pay it off and work with your lenders. And then there's the bankruptcy where you just sort of say, I'm done. Here's all my assets, I walk away, and I'm clean. Unfortunately, there is no commitment bankruptcy court that exists in the modern world right now. The truth is in adult life, most of the things that you really have to maintenance on some level. So you really only have the restructuring option. But I do like the idea of bankruptcy court, because what happens when you come into court, everybody knows everybody's going to lose. The person who's in debt is going to lose a lot of credibility and financial credit, meaning they're going to become less creditworthy. They take a hit to their credit. Similarly, you in overwhelmed debt, in productivity debt, you take a hit to your credibility, where people are, if you have to go in and you have to say to people, I'm not going to be able to do this thing for you that I said I was going to do for you. That's the analogy. I saw somebody's mind just get blown right now. So the analogy for you is, instead of for a debt saying, I'm not going to be able to pay 100 cents on the dollar for this, you're going to maybe get 50 cents on the dollar. That's a blow to you and a blow to them. In your productivity, you're going to your church and saying, hey, this role that I said I was going to play for you, I have to confess, I'm not going to be able to play that role. I can try to help you find somebody else. I can do maybe 30% of that role, but I'm not going to be able to give you 100 cents on the dollar for everything that I declared. And I know that that means I'm going to take a hit to my trust and credibility and reputation, but I have to, because right now I'm declaring overwhelmed bankruptcy. And so I would really love this person. Who is this right now? This is Nadine. Nadine, I'd really love for you to think about yourself as asking the critical question, am I so in debt that I need to do a debt restructuring here? That I need to go back to some of these fundamental commitments, and not necessarily say you get zero, but maybe start working with that lender and saying, can I put this off? Can we push this into next year, this project? Or can I work with you to do less on this project than I thought? Or instead of being the lead, can I be a support person and we'll find a different person to be the lead? But you need to do some restructuring in your life. I'll bet, dimes to donuts. You're going to have to do some kind of restructuring, because the idea that you're just going to find some money in a drawer here somewhere, no. You're probably not going to find some time and capacity. If you're telling me this, you've already looked in all the nooks and crannies for all the time and energy that you might have on you, and you've used it all. And you're still in this place where you're overwhelmed. So you may need to seriously consider a deeper restructuring.